Prescription products require completion of an online medication consultation with an independent healthcare provider through the LifeMD platform and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Individual results may vary. Additional restrictions apply at lifemd.com. Read all warnings before using GLP-1s. Side effects may include a risk of thyroid C-cell tumors. Do not use GLP-1s if you or your family have a history of thyroid cancer.
Should GLP-1 weight loss medication like Wegovy and Zepbound cost thousands of dollars? We don't think so. TryLifeMD.com helps provide insurance access to the leading GLP-1 medications. Visit TryLifeMD.com and check your eligibility for GLP-1 medication with copays as low as $0. Listen to Bridget's story after losing 55 pounds and using her insurance for coverage.
LifeMD helped me get covered with my insurance. Finding out that it was covered was huge. I've lost 55 pounds. I am so much healthier now that I've lost the weight. I would never be able to do it without them.
Get started today and check your eligibility for GLP-1 medication with copays as low as $0 at TryLifeMD.com. That's TryLifeMD.com.
Welcome and thank you for tuning in to Cryptids, Creeps, and Conspiracy. The following content may involve explicit language and materials, so listener discretion is advised.
It's adventurous. Oh, shit. Okay.
Welcome back, everybody. We have, yet again, I'm super excited. We've had a lot of new guests on lately, and we have two more fellas, and I'm giggling because I don't know what it looks like on your guys' end, but if anybody's doing it from my side, I am the cream in their Oreo right now. So it's literally me in the middle and you two stacked on the outside.
That's what we have as well. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. This is great.
Squish your head. Yeah. No. Anyway.
Well, I got one of
you.
you.
You're vertical for me. Yeah. It would be that. Yeah. Candles work.
Oh, this is great. Definitely.
Story of a lovely lady. Stop. You can stop that.
Oh, this is horrible.
Remember that usher where he was like, thought he was the middle square and he kept pointing to like people
yes,
around him? Yeah.
Either way, we have JJ and Ted.
Yes.
JJ and Ted, thank you guys for being on. They're from
Conspiring to Argue.
Conspiring to Argue. And it's gotten me confused because, to be fair, I hopped on a recording, I think it was last week, and I was expecting you guys.
Oh, really?
And it was not you guys. When they popped up, I was like, who the hell is this guy? Either way,
now.
we're here now, and we're here to party. Just like always, I don't like to insert just the regular ads. I do all those kind of in their own little thing with updates for the listeners. But I always give you guys an opportunity to do a little advertisement because it throws people off to not have a music intro or anything, because then it's psych now you can't skip ahead, suckers. So take it away, guys.
Take that. So I'm JJ. I'm Ted. And we are Conspiring to Argue. We are a conspiracy theory podcast where what we'll do is debate the merits of a conspiracy, whether it's real or not. Sometimes we tackle Bigfoot. Sometimes we tackle some true crime that have some sort of a debating element. Currently, we're actually working on the Menendez brothers, or just recording part 2, which is the trial, and if their murders were justified of their parents. We, again, like to tackle the conspiracy, but we also like to debate if the conspiracies happened or didn't happen, if there's truth or not.
Essentially debating the validity of different sides of conspiratorial topics.
Responsibly.
Yeah, there's certain things we don't touch, and sometimes we'll point out why we won't do certain things, but
yeah, we'll do flat Earth, though.
Yeah, we'll do flat Earth.
What's so funny about that is my son brought me his laptop last week, and he was like, Mom, you are not going to believe this assignment we have. And I was like, oh, yeah? And he's, yeah, look at it. Shit you not. His assignment was to convince his teacher that the Earth was flat.
Oh, my God.
That's fun.
Cool.
Oh, it kept saying, go find the science behind it. But it was like very clear that it's pseudoscience.
Sure.
But it was just so funny because he was like,
pretty good. I like that.
That's a fun. Tell him to listen to our episode. We have one on flat Earth. Explains the whole thing.
Oh, that's awesome. Because he's like, do you think any of your podcast friends? I said, they're experts, right? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, they are.
I think technically we might qualify as flat Earth experts, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, we still a lot. Yeah. That's a wild one.
Sometimes it works out.
Yeah, it does for this situation right now.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only time.
People I try to talk to about the podcast, they'll like, explain it to me. And then I get super in depth and they think I'm a flat earther because I know a lot about it. And so it's not good.
I 100% agree with that. Sometimes I get into things and I was like, I'm not saying that you get all the way through, you realize it's been 45 minutes of you and your soapbox and we're having a Tosh talk. And I'm like, wait, hold on. I'm not saying I believe it or don't believe it.
It's
I'm just
really
saying we talk
interesting.
about it.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about it. Okay.
Yes.
When we started a while ago, it was mostly like things that I, as more of a conspiracy theorist, I'd be like, have you heard about this? I believe that. And you're like, you're a moron. And then we would debate it. And now we change rules sometimes. And it's more just like anything, but it used to be things that I actually believed.
Yeah, now you've grown up. You got older.
Yeah.
We've just
Got a
given
child.
he's given up on life.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. I've seen you guys on some other shows and I always laugh because you guys just in general, your chemistry, you guys go so well together. You guys are like
Thank you.
ice cream and sprinkles, right? And
We've known each other for a while.
which one's ice cream and which one's sprinkles? Y'all can sort that
I'm
out.
sprinkled.
He's sprinkles.
Okay.
I do very little for the show.
But it's flair, and that's what I like about you.
Yeah.
I'm just here to look pretty.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
That's what I tell my boss all the time.
Joke. Yeah.
There's something about being looking pretty. So
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
rest
I
of it's
was
just
like,
boring.
I was like, my job is to sit here and look pretty.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
mission
like you guys
accomplished.
do it. Thanks. Considering I look like a total hobo right now, but it's okay. I'll appreciate it. It's good.
Yeah.
As usual, my listeners know, but not sure if you guys do. The reason I'm looking like I'm in a dark dungeon right now is because I do leave my cat ball sensors on when I record. Because depending on the person, we sometimes get a lot of activity, sometimes we don't.
Cool.
But that's the main reason I started doing video. So there's one over here by Little Ghosty. There's one over here by Parapuppy. And then I have one way down here by my Fresno picture.
Parallel
So if you
puppies.
see any rainbow lights,
Yeah.
Oh.
Gotcha.
that's what that is.
Oh,
Excellent.
okay.
Love it.
So, guys, I know you've mentioned on previous ones you have
Mhm.
some spiritual activity happening.
And but to me, it happens all the time. And I had somebody on, we were doing a live feed. And it went off, and I was just like, oh, hi. And this person was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And I was just like, oh, hey, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us. How's it going?
Yeah.
Oh, now if it doesn't happen, to be disappointed.
Don't be disappointed. Actually, keep in mind, it's 5 o'clock. Now, granted, they do stuff to me all the time. It doesn't matter when I record. It just depends on the person, usually. They really like Stacy. So the kids like Stacy.
Who doesn't?
Yes, I know. She's
We get
freaking
it.
phenomenal. And everybody, I mean, this ball down here, this is my kid's ball. And I mean, we paused our episode and had like a 10-minute conversation with this thing, like asked it questions.
Really?
And he
Oh, man.
responded. It was fantastic. And then this ball up here is usually Philip's ball. And Philip loves Kevin. Loves Kevin. If Kevin's on a live feed, it goes off. If Kevin's name gets brought up in something,
Funny.
it goes
That's
off.
wild.
When I had Kevin
That's
on,
wild.
this thing was like nonstop
All over,
going.
really?
Yes.
I'm
Which I
gonna-
mean, I can't blame him.
But
But-
it's fine. If it doesn't go off, it's fine. It just means they have better taste than.
Yeah.
That-
They're indiscriminate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
Well,
good. It's
I just
probably
like to
good,
warn
yeah.
people in case we have random
Right.
rainbow lights showing up. That's what that is, because
good.
I
Good
am
to
the
know.
only person out here,
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Gotcha.
the flesh and blood person.
Right.
But I wanted to bring it in because I feel like I've been drifting away from my babies are the cryptids. I love cryptids. I love to get into
Same.
them.
We never do
Ah.
them. And
Yeah.
every time we do, I have a great time. And we just never do. We've covered a lot of them is the issue.
There's more to cover. You've done
And
Nessie, you've done Big Four.
I have avoided all of those.
Yeah.
Oh, you done?
Well,
Oh, have you done Dogman?
I did.
Mothman's
Okay.
good.
I did not
Dogman.
cover Dogman, but I did have 2 guests on that had actual encounters.
Oh,
So I
really?
Yeah, one's Matt. He's got a 2-parter, and then one of the 2 parts that I did with Harley is one's Bigfoot and one's Dogman.
Awesome.
Oh man, that's epic.
Oh, really go check out Matt's because he is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I like Harley too. It was just something whenever I was listening to Matt's, every hair stood up. It was.
That's awesome.
That's
Ooh,
wild.
I still am like,
That's
oh, I got
absolutely
goosebumps
wild.
again. Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah.
But I haven't covered them as a topic. I've been
Sure.
trying to go through ones that are lesser known.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because rip it. Like
Yeah.
Veggie Man.
Oh, I
And
haven't heard of Veggie Dance.
I love Veggie Man. And
Is that from
Snallygaster.
VeggieTales?
No.
Probably
Cold
not.
half an hour, sweet and sour.
Sour.
My hairbrush.
Oh, where is my hairbrush? I like the, 'cause you're my cheeseburger. Or what was it I was talking? We were talking about manatee because it's come up a lot when you're looking at cryptids because everybody, it's like the skeptics. It's a manatee, and then of course I go with Barbara Manatee, but we can't go wrong there. But speaking of things that are around water, one of these things comes from an island that I wanted to talk about today. We're traveling over to the tropical paradise known as Hawaii.
Okay, I've heard of it.
And this beautiful island is not immune to the unexplainable creatures, which brings us here. Yeah.
Maui.
Oh.
Yeah.
What kind of
We're not going to talk about Polynesian gods,
done.
demigods. I don't think.
You don't think so?
No, actually. But we're going to do it. Back to Hawaii.
Yes.
What I've got here is a native pygmy habitat of Hawaii. And a lot of people believe that they're actually what was considered the tribe of Judah that was mentioned in the big old holy Bible.
This is my stuff.
I think I'm just tickling Ted down here. Here we go. Tickling your hair down here. I'm getting your attention. That sounded really weird, didn't it? I'll tickle you up here. What like that? You know, it looks like I'm, We'll just say it's a beard scratch. It's a beard scratch, okay? Eek. But as myths usually do, they did start with a little bit of truth. Before the Polynesians arrived in 1000 to 1200 AD, there's said to have been some villagers. Oh my goodness. I really am not good at pronunciation, so I apologize. From the, I want to say it's Marquises, but I don't think that's right.
I hope you're not looking for us.
It's Marqueasas.
I know Marquises.
Yeah,
Sure.
Marquises.
Sorry, I apologize for anybody who actually knows what that word is.
Nope,
Sorry.
If you say with confidence, then people will question it.
We literally never once said it with confidence.
Oh, yeah,
That's a word.
Yeah, I know.
I'm clearly better if you go back. I'm better at like Irish and Russian stuff. That's called jam. And Germans, apparently.
Vodka.
I know.
Potato.
You know what vodka means in Russian? It's vod is essentially water and ka is similar to, so it just means just like water.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Is that
Well,
true?
it looks like water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, this word I can say. So after we have these other people, the Ims, the Tahitians came to the islands.
Tahitians is a good, that
I
sounds
love
right
it.
to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
We had Moana
Marquise
showing up.
Tahitians. Got it. Yep.
And then, according to the legend, the Tahitians, as all societies typically do, barged in and began to immediately oppress what we know as, I think it's Menehune.
Okay.
Menehune.
Okay.
Yeah.
So came in like the British. Got it.
Yes.
Yeah, they colonized. Yeah.
They came in like a wrecking ball and just destroyed these people.
Absolutely.
And that's actually where they got their name because they called them Menehunes, which translates into just commoner. So it's, you peasant.
They didn't
That
have a
was
word for wrecking ball.
The islander peasant version of
Neat. Yeah.
And so I'm assuming it's Menehune. I don't know. Sorry, guys. They were forced out of the valleys and mountains where they normally resided and were forced to hide in fear of their lives out like way in no man's land, like up in the mountains and stuff.
Yep. Like a bunch of hobos or.
I was like, does this sound familiar?
Yeah.
Coming in and running for your life.
I don't know if there's a single time in American history that we could relate this to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
No, doesn't ring any bells.
It's lost to history.
Yeah. Nope. History is written by the winners.
Now,
Unless you live in Oklahoma. Then,
I was going to say Iowa, but okay.
Iowa's fine too.
Yep.
I've heard about that place.
Now, rumors of these mysterious miniature Menehunes began in Hawaiian mythology, like right around then. So, like, we're talking thousands of years ago.
How
And-
miniature? Give me a height
Well-
wise.
Funny you should mention that.
All right.
They are dwarf-like and said
Okay.
to even have some magical powers.
Cool.
Excellent.
So Hawaiian natives call this tribe, oh my good God.
Really? Oh my good God.
Kama Ayana, I think,
Okay.
I trust you.
Sounds real. Yeah, sounds real.
which translates into child of the land.
Okay. I
So
believe that as well.
no one really knows exactly where they came from, but have an idea of
From-
what they,
Where did they go?
where did we come from? Cotton Eye. I do that every episode and it drives me nuts.
Really?
Um,
That's
yeah.
fantastic.
You're
They
welcome.
say that they really only come out at night because they're scared of all of these people that moved in. So they sneak around at night. And similar to the Pukwudgie, They say they stand anywhere from 6 inches to 3 foot tall. So it's like a meter for all
It's
y'all.
not even that,
forum
that
people.
that's small.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking elf size.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's very
And-
neat.
A generous 6 inches. Thank you.
Yeah.
My normal thing was, are we talking a woman or a man 6 inches?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
This big.
Yeah.
They're really, really small. And some accounts claim that they get small enough to fit in the palm of your hand. Can you imagine having a pocket puck wedgie? Basically
Yes.
what it is. A pocket
I can.
pudgy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
I
like,
have.
do you like put it in your
Just-
pocket? It reminds me of, what was that show? With the giant and there's like a girl and the giant does the dreams and the nightmares. What the hell is that movie?
James and the Giant Peach.
No.
That's not it. No.
I'm talking about. It's in
not.
England or something.
But I'd really like to.
Oh, it's a really
Uh,
cool movie. It's this little girl. She's in an orphanage, and then he comes around and he steals nightmares so that people don't have
Is that
nightmares.
Nemo?
Oh,
Nemo?
no, absolutely not. That's a fish.
Well, there's a movie called Nemo.
Oh, no, I
Nemo.
think I know what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh, they redid it from my childhood. Something about a giant. Anyway, but he like puts her on his little shoulder and like walks with her. I'm like, could you just put it in your little pocket
Yeah.
and be
Little-
like,
just
yeah, walk around and be like, I don't really know why you would want to do that, but I mean,
I would.
well, what else are you gonna do with him? He's 6 inches.
Yeah.
How else is he gonna get
I love
around? That's gonna take you forever if you're like holding his hand.
and insert cricket sounds. Note to self.
So, yes.
But what I was getting is I did an episode that was a little risque on the
yeah?
elves of Iceland.
Ooh,
Thanks,
that's a
okay.
good topic.
It's literally
it?
it's
Yes.
literally called Icelandic elf sex.
That's
Oh,
perfect. Yeah.
A woman,
they-
there's a real live flesh and blood woman who wrote a book
Yep.
on her experiences.
excellent.
Called
With elf?
Please your elf instead of please
Yep.
yourself.
Yes.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Go check it out.
Pretty
He's dying
fun.
up here.
Pretty
JJ's dying.
plug. I'm
I-
trying to like.
yeah, I broke
I'm trying to
JJ.
think of how do you please an elf, and then and none of it's good. Like,
It has nothing to do with pleasing the. Anyway, we're not going to get into that.
you just said how to please your elf. You just—that's the book. That's
They
a
s-
false advertisement.
spelled
That's
it-
what it's about.
It's yourself. They just capitalized ELF at the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
It was a play on
Okay.
words.
I don't get it.
It's fine. He doesn't. It's fine. He'll catch up.
Feed the elf.
Go find my post
They're
on
easier.
Go find my post on Instagram because I even put drawings depicting positions on there. They're
Yeah.
stick figures, so they're nothing vulgar, but
Oh
There you
no,
go.
it's a little bit the stick figure. It's not vulgar.
Oh,
That
no
just
shit.
means your artistic ability sucks. That has nothing to do with.
Can do
I
it.
did it for the kids.
If you don't have a kid, can you imagine me that kid for show and tell? My mommy wrote a book.
Oh, I don't think I'd. I don't think I'd. No,
I wouldn't like to imagine.
I wouldn't like to
no.
imagine it. Nope. No.
That sounds awful.
That sounds awful.
Okay,
So,
anyway,
they're
though,
tiny.
little tiny elf people. I guess they're not really elves. They're mystical, magical. I don't know. I guess they could be fae. We'll get into that.
I was gonna say that. Yeah. It sounds like
Now-
they at least share some fae.
But a lot of times when you think of fae and you think of elf and you think of all that, you tend to think more slender, dainty Tinkerbell types. But
Yeah.
supposedly these guys are like Arnold Schwarzenegger meets elf. They're like
Oh,
muscular.
that kind of
Yeah.
makes sense. That with Polynesian gods and demigods and ideal Polynesian body type being that
Stocky.
actually makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, short and stocky.
Which I remember Maui. Like when they
Yes, he
talked
was
about
very-
it, Maui was. There was a lot of controversy because that's not how Polynesians typically look. Like they're not overweight like that.
Not overweight.
Yeah.
He's got a beer belly.
Right. And but no, I think that
He also wasn't
the live
human.
around. Yeah. I was gonna say.
Look at every other princess. Say, God, do you really think that's what we look like? Hello.
Yeah. 'Cause then it's- yeah. Yeah.
But I
I'm gonna
remember that
start
being
with
the
that.
controversy of Polynesians is there was a lot of controversy.
Yeah.
When the movie
New-
came out about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Newsflash. When I was 16, I looked like a grown woman. All right. I didn't look like no Snow White.
Let's not talk about what I looked like with 16.
Yeah.
It's not
all
great
right.
times. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Figure
We'll
stuff
we'll
out.
move
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
But on top of them being short in stature, but also buff, they sometimes were reported as having protruding and lower than average forehead. So I'm picturing like a caveman,
Yeah.
only small.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
Oh,
I can see. Yeah.
Yep. And for being so little, they said their eyes were like really big in comparison to their
Like a
face.
puppy?
I don't think anybody was thinking that, but
Babies and puppies and kitties have
typically have bigger eyes. Do you know why?
Compared to the rest of their face.
Aside from the growing thing, do you know why babies and animal babies, any baby across the board, do you know why they're cute? It's actually a genetic thing.
Yeah, so they don't.
It's so that the others in the group won't kill it. They'll take care of it if it's cute.
Yeah, and parents too. Biologically, the parents won't accidentally kill it or intentionally kill it because it triggers the nurturing response.
Yeah, no, because
they're cute.
Children without the nurturing response, babies are terrible.
Oh yeah. Babies are. It's toddlers anyway. It's.
You mean it doesn't?
They're sleeping.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm at 12 and it hasn't stopped yet. No kidding. My kid's actually pretty good. He's a sweetheart. We're having a little difficulty with the preteen thing, but.
Sure.
But they do say, too, people always describe it as you get this urge a lot of times. If you see a baby, you're like, oh, I just want to eat you up. And you like grit your teeth together and you literally.
Aggression. Yeah.
And you want to bite them. It's actually, it does it on purpose. It's your body is like feeling all this emotion. You don't know how to get rid of it. So you bite.
Yeah.
It's also why we have some biters in the sack, too. Just so you know.
Yeah. Yeah, cuteness aggression is interesting, like the actual biological.
A lot of wires
behind
being crossed now.
Yeah.
There's
that's what being a human is. Yeah.
It's just wires being crossed. Yeah, got it.
All right, I love how I've got Ted on board. Ted is like right beside me in the little go-kart, and we just ran over JJ. I broke in. He's flopping like a fish behind us. I don't know what happened.
Trying to figure out how relations work. Iceland.
We'll Google stuff after this.
Go listen to my episode.
Yeah.
I'll listen to the episode. Yeah.
But it gets even better than that, right? So these guys are small, muscular. They got these big eyes, these really low, protruding like caveman head. Oh my gosh, foreheads, headbands. Jesus. But they have these real thick caterpillar unibrows.
Oh, cool.
Excellent.
That's. For some reason, when you talked about the kind of Neanderthalish forehead, I just imagined a thick unibrow. And so I'm glad that I don't know why, but that's what I imagined.
Yep.
That's up.
And again, they live deep in the forest because they've been pushed out of their area. And they're known as being exceptionally strong and extremely crafty. They make all these things from canoes, roads, ponds, houses, temples, and walls that were all built by these particular beings during their like post-Twilight adventures. Like they're all attributed to this group, this specific tribe.
Is there any evidence? Have they found these things? Because
you're
throwing a lot out of. Okay.
Oh, just wait.
Got it.
Hang on to your panties there, JJ.
No, I will not. I want it now.
This is where I really start laughing because I am getting, speaking of Disney, singing and music tends to fill the air when they're around.
Oh, they are Disney characters.
So either kind of like trolls or kind of like the Seven Dwarfs, only more buff. Like, I don't think there was Buffy on the...
Buffy was very buff. You need to watch your mouth.
And as like myself, sunlight is a major deterrent. I too avoid the sun. Thanks. And they said... No, I'm wondering, if they were pushed aside so far ago or so long ago that they lived primarily at night in the wilderness, they probably would develop some sort of sun sensitivity, some kind of photosensitivity. My goodness.
That makes sense. And also like the way that most myths develop, especially at year 1000 forward, there's so much already like the potential for myths to conflate together and potentially like even like early vampirism myths might be attributed, and maybe not, maybe that has nothing to do with it, but there have been so many cryptid myths that involve night walking rather than and it could be sailor storytelling conflation to some degree, maybe not, but
too, I see a lot of things where that could be true because think about it. Regardless of what you were doing, when somebody comes in or you're seen and then you die, like your people or your tribe and whatever species you are, you're going to avoid it.
Yep. Right.
That makes total sense to me that then they all of a sudden start being at night trying to hide and be safe so that way they don't all get massacred.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure vampirism was a part of it because they also believe that their favorite foods were fish and bananas.
Yeah, that's everybody's
I hate fish.
Food. Really? Excellent. Okay.
I like bananas.
Yeah, I like fish. He doesn't like bananas.
Banana.
My wife.
So they're...
My son doesn't like bananas.
And my wife doesn't. She hates bananas.
Okay.
What do you feel about banana bread?
I love it, but my thighs don't.
I love banana bread too. And, yep.
Oh, a zucchini bread. Oh,
Oh man, yeah, that's
Oh.
where it's at.
good old like grandma used to make. Oh, anyways,
Aw.
yeah. We're going to start getting a little bit.
It
so
wasn't
far-
weird yet. It wasn't weird
Wait,
yet.
okay, so
The
far it's not too
6-inch
bad.
Unibrow.
Up to 3
Uh,
feet. So think 3 feet.
Up to 3 feet. Sorry. All right.
So let's
I'm gonna go
say-
2. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
1. I'm gonna go 2 feet. I'm gonna
I
split the
mean,
difference.
It's kind of like Mini Me from Austin Powers, right?
Yeah.
Only with a unibrow
And super buff. Got it. Okay.
and super
All right.
buff, yes.
But it's
So,
not weird yet.
not
weird
yet.
Not
But
yet.
they do say that this tribe of people are supposedly invisible to any non-natives.
I like
Excellent.
that. No, that's a lot of qualifiers there. But,
Now hold on,
okay.
because to me, this oddly enough has some sort of correlation with the banshee. So they say
Yeah.
that you will not be visited by a banshee unless you have Irish heritage.
Yeah. And it's also, I get at this in some of our episodes, but the idea of people reporting ghosts, like ghost sightings, it's only reported by people that believe in them. Maybe that's a feature, not a bug. Like maybe ghosts only reveal themselves to people. And I know this isn't based on belief, it's based on lineage, but it's the same thing where it's people who are outside of that culture probably like definitely don't believe in it. And so, of course, even if they did see something, it's going to develop that because they're not going to be reporting, they're going to be talking about
They're
it.
gonna be like,
They're going
oh,
to be
it was an
denying
animal. It was
Exactly.
an animal. I saw this. Yes.
And so
I am
then
with
it would,
you 100%.
yeah, it makes sense that it would
Well-
develop that, you can only see it if you're somebody who would be,
And that makes sense that the cryptids are the ones that are saying, I'm only going to review myself to these folks. not my-"
exactly, the development of that makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm
Yep.
on
2 words for you
board.
before we move on. 2 words. Generational spirits.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would explain a
Alright.
lot also.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, the descendants can only see them,
Hmm.
but anyone can hear them while they're out singing or humming while they're working.
Oh, but not
Imagine
see it.
you're
Okay.
hearing this stuff in the middle of the night and you're creeping up on it, and then you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay, hum it. Oh my gosh, that's perfect.
Know what they sound like?
So there's certain claims, however, that do say that the Hawaiians would basically hire the Menehune people to do the work for like public buildings and projects and pay them with 1 shrimp.
Banana.
No,
Oh,
one-
shrimp.
1
That's
shrimp
worse.
per work.
That's- Well, wait a minute. If they're 6 inches tall, that's a good deal. They're 3 feet tall, that's a bad deal.
That's an interesting immediate thought that you had.
Think about that. If there's like, how big
It
is
is
a shrimp?
different. Yeah.
A shrimp's like 3 inches long, right?
A big shrimp. Yeah.
Yeah, that's half your body weight
Yeah.
right there.
2 to 3. Yeah.
If
That's
somebody gave me
a feast.
Yeah, they gave me
yeah. For a
feet
6
of-
inch Fey type creature, that does actually.
Yeah.
That's not a bad point to be
Yeah, thank you.
honest.
But
I think.
also,
Thank
if
you.
they're magical, they could do all of that with, what could you do with it? Could you make it bigger? Could you make it multiply? What could you do with it?
Yeah, and also
And
being
how much
magical.
soup could you make?
Yeah, true. And also being magical, like how hard is the labor that they're being paid for by shrimp? Which also, by the way, begs the question real quick. Just to throw this out there, I saw this the other day and I haven't stopped thinking about it since. The last words in the last Harry Potter book, real quick, are it's the titular character stating that he essentially hopes that one of the house elves will make him a sandwich. And somebody wrote this big like think piece. They're like, so at the end, we're left with confirmation that the like slavery system is continuing. So really nothing changed because, like I said, I've been thinking about it and I'm like, yeah, that dude could have made his own sandwich. He's like the most powerful. Okay, anyway, but that kind of tangentially ties into like how hard is the labor? Because if they're magical, maybe shrimp is a good payoff for a very easy thing. If they have to build roads and it's like
They've
simple.
got nothing but shrimp.
Right. I guess also they
They
like
just walk out into the water and put their hands on hot 9 shrimp.
Don't shrimp only show up in deep water?
Yes.
Well, I said what I said.
And also,
did.
what if it's the equivalency of the sock? I'm giving you a
Yeah,
shrimp.
right. Now you're free. Yeah.
I don't think it's that hard to catch shrimp. I'm gonna die on that hill. I don't think it's that hard to catch shrimp.
Have you ever caught shrimp?
I have never caught it. No, in the middle of the United States. No, I've not.
What if they're just crawdads and they think they're shrimp?
Yeah.
Yeah, do they even know what shrimp is? That's an important thing to know too. A lot of questions
I
here.
don't know how
A
to
lot of questions we're not going to
I
answer.
feel like this is so many different wavelengths for
It
this.
is,
So
it is.
I love it. Yeah. Okay.
All right, go on. Go on.
Okay,
Yeah,
I did not take my other ADHD meds, so I am totally on board with this right now.
It's starting to wear off for Ted too. So
Yeah. It's not just Hawaii where these particular entities have been seen. Like there was actually some that were reported in Polynesia, just to throw that out
Yeah.
there.
All right.
And fun fact, in 1820, the
Jesus, okay.
census from the island of Kauai, I think that was good. That's good.
That was good. I like it. Yeah.
It actually listed 65 people as Menehune or Menehune.
No, really?
On the census report.
Yeah.
Oh no. What is it now?
I don't know. I
Not
I
that.
didn't pull it
Not
this.
that.
I mean, are they just little people?
Right. And that would be, I was going to ask that is, I don't know, obviously, what the
Genetically-
demographics, I don't know what the demographics of Hawaii are when it comes to what percentage of the population qualifies as a little person versus anywhere else. Cause I don't know the demographics of the percentages of little people anywhere. But if it's very small in Hawaii, that would explain coming up with an origin. Right.
Yeah, they have a very
if-
little population.
Thanks. That wasn't good. That wasn't that.
Sorry, I got to point down.
What I'm thinking, say there was a small population.
Sorry.
I didn't. What's that show? There's a whole show. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Oh, Jesus. Quantitatively, there was a minuscule
Mhm.
population.
Mhm.
And what was that show with the little people and they had all the kids?
I was like Little People, Big World or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
genetically, though, if you put, it's like gingers. You both have to
Okay,
have that
Go
recessive.
on.
You both have to have
Okay.
that recessive trait to pass it on. So
Yeah.
if they're intermingling and marrying and having children,
Right.
if more of the population has that genetic factor, then more of their population would also be small.
Okay.
Right.
That is fair to assume. Yes.
Until
We're good
they
at
start,
science, I think.
yeah, until they start introducing the people that just showed up and chased them off, and then you have that,
You have a dilution effect
yes,
over
yes.
generations. Yeah.
which might be why it
Mm.
dwindled as the time went on and they became more lore than actual people.
Oh,
I don't know.
So
It-
okay.
and now I realize I would have had no reason to look this up in my life or know it, but now I'm questioning whether or not dwarfism is dominant or recessive. And it's a question I never thought I'd ask myself.
I think it's recessive.
Okay.
Or is it a mutation?
No, I think it's just a gene.
It could be
It,
genetic.
well, it might have been
Okay.
hold on.
I think
A lot of recessive traits are actually mutations.
I was
that
going to say like
just
everything is.
then spread so much that it became a recessive trait as opposed. So technically, being a ginger, as I am, that's
Yeah.
a mutation,
Yes.
but
I was
it's
gonna say,
considered a
like,
recessive trait because it's been a thing for so long.
Yeah.
And in the world of mutants, you got red
Oh.
hair rather than healing abilities or
Right.
claws.
Yeah. That's experimentation too.
I have some cool stuff I can do. We just
Oh, wow.
that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It's weird, but
Sure.
Anyway, this is something you guys are gonna get a kick out of. So again, they're small, they're funky looking. No offense, guys.
And
Um,
they eat shrimp.
and they like shrimp, bananas, and fish.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, they do say in some lore that they would go around shooting people with magic arrows that would then spark the feeling of love.
Love it. I love it. I'm
Okay.
so curious now.
Okay.
Timeline wise,
Like
when
Cupids.
I was gonna say, like, when did we? And I guess I don't actually know any of the origin of like the Cupid myth. I wonder
Right. Same.
what influenced what, and because I
Mhm.
have no idea. I don't know any of the background about Cupid.
And to that
I
point,
don't either. Okay.
Is Cupid a cryptid?
I would assume, first of all, yeah, for sure. I would assume that
Is
that
it?
Cupid probably has Christian roots. I don't
Yeah,
know
I
for
think
sure.
No.
Or I
Cupid
guess
would
no,
be snuffed out by.
no, you're right. I
It'd
would
be more
assume that
pagan.
Cupid would probably be potentially co-opted by Christians from pagans, like
Yes.
everything else.
To make
That's
it,
what
yeah.
I meant. Yeah.
Maybe it's like oh my gosh, what if there's a big gnarly? That would make sense. It's like a less cherub Cupid
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they then turned into cherub Cupid. Like when you have Santa and you have, oh my gosh, the big guy with the horns. Help me out here.
The devil?
Belschnickel?
Okay, the yeah. Oh
Talking
my
about
God,
Black
how did I
Pete?
forget it? Yeah, he's like it's goatee. And he comes in and
Baphomet?
he like whips the kids with the stick.
Oh, like Belschnickel.
Yeah, but there's a different name.
Yeah, there is. I'm trying to remember what because
evil-
that's specifically like Dutch, but
Evil-
early. Yeah. Well, oh my god.
Either way.
I'll come up with
Leave.
it. It'll pop into my head in a minute or two, I promise, and I'll just
Oh my
shout it
gosh,
out.
I cannot. I found this quote in my research and I just had to laugh. So it says, quote, "They were known to be strong workers and excellent craftsmen despite their shortcomings." I just had to copy and paste that in there.
Was pun intended?
I
You
don't
think
know.
pun was intended on that?
I don't think it was.
I don't know.
I
That's a little
cannot
too on the
believe-
nose. That's a little too on the nose.
He's German. Back to the Menehunes.
Yes.
And they were popular. Everybody said they built all these things. So there's a Kikiola, and it is a 24 feet, which is about 7.3 meters for all y'all out there, high historic irrigation channel. It's also called the Menehune Ditch. So lore states that they built it, and they bought it in just one night, and it predates
impressive.
it predates the Tahitians when they arrived at 1000 AD. And it's actually constructed, my God, from 120, was it basalt blocks that had been cut with great precision using specific tools. So it's like the Hawaiian pyramid, only not a pyramid.
Right. Only 7.
But it's but it,
Before
it's
the
spiritual
times.
successor of like
Mhm.
how did this get built?
Yep.
Potentially supernatural or cryptid
Okay.
explanation. Yeah.
Now,
dig it.
another famous landmark that was attributed to them is Alikoko Fish Pond. And it is a 102 acre fish pond at the bend of the dear heavens, I keep doing this, of the Tulia River. The inland pond consists of 2,700 feet, which is about 823 meters, stone wall. And the story goes that 1,000 years ago, the tribe built the pond using a rather intriguing method. So it
Go
states,
on.
it states that it was actually constructed underwater. They lined up in a double row that stretched 25 miles in length, and all night long they passed stones from hand to hand until it was finished.
Oh, okay. That's
Like a
different than what I thought it was
little-
gonna be.
Menehune conveyor belt,
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
long
yeah.
would there have to be for 25 miles?
right? That's
There'd have to be
the
like
kicker.
Over 25.
over.
Oh, geez.
You'd have to have like thousands of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, my math
Yeah.
checks.
I don't know the exact width of each, so I can't give you a mathematical.
They're like 6 inches tall. So
Maybe.
or
That
3 feet.
Could, yeah.
Shoulder to
It's really
shoulder is
big
like-
on the lower end of this bar.
I just like to think you could put them in your pocket.
Maybe they
Walk
put them in like heights, so it's like made little waves or something. Maybe that helped
I
them
like
move the
that.
stones.
I like that. They're probably like moderately heavy, large basalt stones.
Mhm.
So a 6-inch one, that's very impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have the physique of an ant at that point.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
With more
Now-
than 25.
Yeah. So that specific thing, though, they say was built for a princess and her brother who showed interest in the tribe. Because of this, the young little siblings snuck out to spy on the Menehune people while they were doing their work in the dead of night. And once the sun started to rise, the children were spotted, and the tribe used their magical powers to turn them into stone pillars.
No.
Since
No,
the
they
work
just want to be friends.
And since the work was halted, the fish pond was left with 2 gaps in the wall. And later the gaps were filled, but the pillars still stand to this very day.
I need to
There's-
look that up.
There's nothing that I enjoy more than the etymology for a somewhat unexplained thing. Because it always just gets wild, and it's wow! I can't believe this has survived over all
Yeah.
that we could be talking about it on a podcast. I love it.
But I think that probably, because I know this is with urban legends and cryptids, and a lot of them exist in order to warn children but not to sneak out at night.
At night, yeah.
Or you'll turn into or to avoid water. Like, I know that's
Yeah,
another
yeah.
thing
Yeah.
why a
Because
lot of cryptids exist.
in like pre-industrial studies, like child drowning, obviously, is probably like the main cause of death.
Yeah, and like polio and stuff.
Yeah, but
And that was one fish pond, but there's another one that I don't know if it's a different spin on the same story or a whole different fish pond, but it revolves around a young boy named Laka from Kauai.
Great name.
His dad took a day trip to the neighboring village, but never returned. So, even to this day, Dad went out to buy some cigarettes and milk or whatever, and just never came home.
Never came back. Yeah.
Now, Laka was given horrible grief about his dad never coming home after that. So not only was that, people were brutal. And as he grew up, the urge to seek out his father grew unbearable.
You don't have a dad.
we can say that.
Damn.
Both of us.
He's an awesome stepdad, though. He's pretty badass. I love him.
Oh, it's not dead. Oh, ours are dead.
Yeah.
Our
Right.
fathers are dead.
Yeah.
Oh, no. So legitimately a dead beast.
Now I get the
That's why you're
joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was not getting it. I was like, what?
Oh, no. I
Oh.
wasn't talking about your father. I was talking about.
Oh,
Anyways.
jeez. Anyway, so after pressuring his mother for assistance for so long, she insisted that he venture into the mountains and pick out a koa tree suitable for a canoe.
Naturally.
Yeah, he went to the perfect tree, cut it down, then returned home with a plan to return in the morning to pick it up. To his surprise, the next day, he showed up and the tree was intact, as if he never chopped it down to start with. He was completely confused, totally bewildered, as we all would be, but he was like, maybe I just thought about it.
Forgot about my trees.
He chopped it down again.
Sure. I do
Then-
the same thing. I would do
then
the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have
Did
to
I?
test that.
Maybe
That's
he went
scientific
to the wrong
method.
spot, right?
Yeah.
That's a man for
Chopping
you.
the tree down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next day, he went back and found it was back the way it was.
Yeah.
Again.
That's firmly established
Yeah.
at that point. Yeah.
Somebody's fucking with me.
But now now he wises up. So believing the tree must be magic, he cut the tree down once more, but this time he decided to get down to the bottom of it. So he made a strange decision to dig a hole next to the newly made stump and hide in it to watch what was happening during the night.
This was, of course, before there were cell phones and cameras and stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
They can, yeah.
Now,
They can
while
have
he
a Ring
waited,
doorbell.
while he waited, he drifted off to sleep, but was awakened later in the night to some strange humming radiating through the forest. The humming grew louder until Laka, noticed a band of Menehune people being led by what appeared to be a chief. So Laka sat there stunned until he gathered the muster to snatch up the chief by his beard when he got close enough to him.
Cool.
He then proceeded to keep the chief hostage, demanding the tribe to carve him out a canoe out of the tree to get their leader back safely.
Listen, you're already making this
That's-
tree. The least you can do is make me a canoe.
That's so lazy. That's
So lazy,
yeah.
Yeah.
That laziness built into this.
The group agreed, but there were a few conditions.
Sure.
All right.
First one, they require that
I
Laka,
love the negotiation.
Yeah.
Yes.
he had to build a large hut to store the canoe.
Okay.
Then,
Wait a minute. They're worried about the condition of the canoe?
no, you'll
Guys
find out.
got their
No,
leer
no,
in.
it has
They're
nothing to
like,
do with the
just don't
condition.
No.
Okay.
It's gonna.
It's gonna
Okay.
come in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
all right.
he also had to provide nourishment to those who contributed to the canoe. So if you didn't help out, no shrimp for you, or whatever the heck they were giving him. Now, and the last one, which is the most important, under no circumstance was he to look while they were constructing the canoe.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Okay. All right.
So the theory is these people would come out, they'd work, they would use their magic, whatever they did, they would build these amazing things. But if you came and they saw you, donezo. They would stop whatever they were working on, not come back. If they were working and the sun started to come up, just like in that other fish pond, boom, gone. They'd stop working on it.
So they wanted privacy to make this canoe.
Exactly. They didn't want to give up their secrets.
Naturally. Okay. Now,
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
And he followed the rules exactly.
Well,
But
okay.
waiting the next morning was a beautifully designed canoe. I know that really wasn't the ending I was expecting either, but that's the end. Ta-da!
Oh, okay. All right. It was
Because
just
he followed the
yeah.
rules.
Yeah.
He got what he wanted.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Successful business transaction also was not the punchline I expected, but
Due to
okay.
kidnapping. Got
Yeah.
excellent.
Yes.
Now,
Okay.
I'm not sure how there was no retaliation for grabbing my boss by the
Well,
beard.
I kind of one thing this
The
is my
short and
first
curly,
thought.
basically.
Yeah, my first thought is okay. So they made him build a whole structure and provide food and keep their secret, and then they got their boss back or their chief back, and all they had to do was build one canoe. It sounds at least like just with being fed, they were like, dude, as long as you give him back, we'll give you a bad deal where you have to feed all of us, and we'll make you your dumb boat.
Which they were going to probably do anyway.
They
Well-
might have, yeah.
They had nothing better to do.
My question would be, do you think it would have just taken a little less effort to just make the fucking canoe
Yes.
yourself?
Yes,
Instead of
exactly.
building the building and getting the
Doing
food?
negotiations, getting the food. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that was also one of my thoughts. Is okay. Now they're having him build more than and do more than the
Yeah.
actual like labor that he tricked them into.
Maybe
doing
that's
or-
payback,
or-
and that's
yeah,
their revenge.
yeah. That's fantastic. That is the punchline of a big origin or a big story explaining these things.
Yeah.
It's such a Seinfeldian. It's just like, yeah, and then it worked. Okay, now next
Yeah.
story.
And
Yeah,
then they
next.
did.
All right, cool. That's hilarious.
I do have some more skeptical considerations that we need to about. Thank you for listening to this episode of Cryptids, Creeps, and Conspiracy. If you wouldn't mind, please take a moment and rate and review the show wherever you're listening. I know it might not seem like much, but it greatly helps the show by allowing us to be found more easily when other listeners search for us. If you have a chance, head on over to www.patreon.com/Cryptids, Creeps, and Conspiracy and become a patron. Members of the Big Show tier get bonus materials, personalized shout-outs, access to the private Discord server, and video versions of episodes, both regular and members only, that are raw and unedited. So they're always a good time. As an added thank you to the Big Show patrons, we also are going to be giving out custom stickers and mini prints after 3 months of membership. I'm currently offering a 7-day free trial, so head on over and see how awesome being a member can be. Before you go, click the link in the description and grab yourself or someone you know some of the self-designed merch, or make a donation to help keep the show going and fund future events and investigations. T-shirts, hoodies, stickers, and magnets can be found on the TeePublic site, and they have sales at least once a month. I believe it is 30 or 35% off. I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly how much, but keep checking back and get them when they're discounts. They have $16 tees, and it's great. For handmade crochet items such as Nessie, Mothman, aliens, Fresno nightcrawlers, and the little ghosts or a big ghost, as well as pants, swimwear, the best tumblers I have found yet as far as merch is concerned, dresses, office supplies, and more, visit the Square merch store. You can also follow the podcast on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Threads, and TikTok. If you have any questions, topic recommendations, or personal encounters, please don't hesitate to send them in to cryptidscreepsandconspiracy@gmail.com or submit them through the contact form at www.cryptidscreepsandconspiracy.com. I would love to hear from you and share your experience on a special listener episode. Just make sure to specify that I have permission to add your encounter to the show, and let me know whether you would like to have your real name or an alias to maintain confidentiality. Thank you again so much for all your support, and I'll see you next time, my friend.